just bought the Supra, and it was pretty much standard when I bought it, but with a blown engine. So when I bought this thing, it's kind of a spot. Oh shit! That's the clutch that I will be talking about. So when I bought this car, it only had a front mount intercooler, catback exhaust, and that was about it. When it got handed to me, for those who know, this thing had a blown engine. If you want a proper walkthrough and just a detailed video about that, there'll be in the link in the description below, or be in a little banner on the top somewhere. Go watch that if you want to know more about this car. So yeah, obviously I bought this car with just a little bit of work, but with a fucked engine. Had to go through the process of rebuilding the whole thing. When I decided to rebuild it, I thought about the future. So when I rebuilt it, I was thinking about how much power I'm going to make in the end, and how much, what the realistic goal might be. So I done that, but it was all in a standard turbo because all my budget went into pretty much the internals and pretty much everything to do with the motor rebuild, the head. When it came to the turbo side, I couldn't afford to buy a big single at that stage. So what happened was essentially I just got the motor built, got it ready, and then just threw it in the car with the factory twin turbos. I used that for 2 years. When I collected some cash, once I collected some cash, I was like, you know what, let's try and piece some parts for a turbo kit, like a single turbo kit. I started pulling the twin turbo off, and then slowly starting to, this is like the first iteration, slowly starting to piece everything together, fuel system, clutch, pull everything apart, and just get it ready for when I throw in the new ones. Thanks, boys. Give me some space. That's another reason why I love this car. Just happiness that it brings to other people. See, boys. Fuck, where was I? Once I got everything put together on the single turbo kit, enjoyed that for a little bit, had some fun, and enjoying it. That's the main thing about these cars. You want to enjoy it. You don't want to have headaches. You don't want to have fucking issues and shit like that. But when I got to that stage of my iteration, then I started having issues like cooler pipes blowing off. Had a couple of idle issues. It was really annoying. So I was like, you know what? Let's just try and update the car and bring the car into like the modern era. So what happened pretty much after that is I updated the ECU. So bought a Haltech 2500. Bought a drive-by-wire kit as well, just so to bring the car up to date, modernize the car, just to, have a little bit more capabilities with the throttle body and stuff. The drive-by-wire, you can use it for traction control, cruise control. There's a numerous amount of inputs and settings that you can use for it. So it was like, sort of future-proofing myself as well at the same time. That made a mad difference. Like, oh man, that's, I don't know, just that coupled with the new ECU, the car became different and it was really nice to drive. It all depends on who the tuner is as well, because if you can't tune a drive-by-wire properly, it's an absolute pig to drive. And that plays a big part in having everything working and running and just making the car drive like a factory car. Because at the end of the day, it isn't factory. And people expect it to run like factory. It's impossible because you've got big cams, big injectors. You can only control and limit a certain amount of aspects in the ECU before it starts running like shit. Like it's hard. Like my tuner he explains it to me that, you know, like I'm a little bit, I can be picky with the way the car idles and shit like that, but because he explained it really well, like pretty much what I said, like you can't expect it to idle like a factory car. It's not a factory car anymore, and that's where a tuner comes into effect. And a person that knows what they're doing makes it a massive difference and makes the car more enjoyable. The tuner that I use is Ben Dianello. He's probably one of like the most well-known tuners in Australia, Victoria, Australia. He's up there, and he's very thorough with his off the dyno tune, like streetability, like the drivability side of the car. He likes to sort of sit down, knuckle down, and get it perfectly running, so you have no issues, no nothing. Like I went on to him on the weekend, and I had an issue where you get onto the throttle, and like you feel like a massive hit in the back of your head. And it was like 5 minutes. He just sat around, fucking punched some numbers into the computer and fixed it. It's like just those little things that help the car drive better, makes the experience a lot better, because I'm used to the car fucking being absolute shit, not idling well. Yeah, just not being enjoyable, because like I said, I kept popping cooler hoses as well, intercooler hoses, so that made me annoyed because I couldn't enjoy the car, go on boost or anything, you know, it was just a fucking bitch to drive. And when we got all that shit sorted, the car was just, it's pushing, it's not 800 horsepower, it is around like 760, 765. Still a lot of power for a car in this day and age. There's people out there that, I don't know what they're psychotic, some cunts out there that push more than that on a street. That's just stupid in my opinion. Like 700 horsepower, high 700 horsepower is plenty for the street. After that, you fucking lose your license, you can lose your car, you can lose everything. You lose your job from not having a license. It's just a fucking terrible idea to have a car this powerful. Yeah, that's enough. That's a chat for another day. But the main aspect about this car is the drivability of how well it drives. The only downside is the clutch. The clutch is a bit shit because you need to have something that has the capability of holding that power, and the only way you can do that is either going auto or having a really, really high sprung clutch. But once you get used to it, it's so much easier. Plus, your clutch leg is bigger than your actual right leg, so you have to sort of concentrate on your right leg more than your left leg, because you notice a massive difference. Because I've been driving this clutch for 6 years, and there's a fucking huge difference between my left quad and my right quad. It's a downfall because your one leg's bigger than the other. The other thing you have to be very wary about when you're driving a car of this caliber is your concentration level of what you're doing, where you're punching it, you know, what's around you, the road condition, bumps. There's a lot of things you have got to take into consideration before you actually decide to step on it. A low powered car, you can get away with it, but these things, you get to a point where if you make a mistake, it'll bite, and it'll bite you so badly that you might actually crash. You have to be very cautious of what to do when you're actually, driving it spiritedly. Oh, fuck, see what I mean? The clutch, it's the concentration. I get my tongue out as well sometimes. I'm trying to concentrate on fucking driving this thing. That's enough of the bad points. Now we talk about the good points of having an 800 horsepower car. The noises that it makes. Listen to that sound. this thing is fucking, oh, orgasmic. What I'm doing right now is I have a cutout valve. My cutout valve isn't wired into the car. It's wired into this, just the Milwaukee battery. So I'm just going to connect it up and show you what it sounds with an open dump. Here we go, it's opening up. Oh no, it's closed. Now it's opening up. So yeah, that's the cutout valve. That's the other good thing you get with an 800 horsepower car. Being an absolute obnoxious dick. And I love it. Fuck, I forget how loud that thing is. Holy shit. Yeah, this thing makes me happy. Can be a cunt to drive sometimes. Can be an absolute nightmare some days, but once you sort everything out, fix all the issues, make it into what you want it to, then you're fucking laughing, man. This thing brings me so much joy. Like, this is the only thing that keeps me, I don't know, planted per se. Like, it just keeps me motivated, keeps me focused on trying to, you know, do bigger and better things with this car. So it's a good thing to have things that make you happy. As men, which I'm presuming majority of my viewers are, men need something to focus on. You need a hobby. You can't just be fucking hobbyless and expecting, you know, do life with no hobby, because that's how you fucking drive yourself insane. This is my hobby. This is my fucking, where all my blood, sweat and tears actually go into. Even though I hate it some days. And the days I hate it, I don't drive it for like months upon months. But now it's gotten to a point where you're not terrified of driving it. Like, you're not forecasting any issues, any problems, because all the issues and problems have been solved. So it makes it enjoyable. And that's what one thing about this car I enjoy, is being able to just get in, jump in, you know, start, turn the key and fucking drive, man. Like, it hasn't gotten to this point with no hard work. Like, it's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of hard work to get to this point, but it's worth it because, yeah, it makes me happy. So right now, I'm thinking about punching it, but it's like, you got to be careful of dash cams, fucking everything, coppers, road condition, fucking debris on the road. Do a little bit of rolling anti-lag. You're also scared of other cunts fucking pulling out in front of you as well. That's the other fear as well. Like, some cunt not seeing you, well, obviously you're doing the speed limit, but they just don't see you. My suction cup fell off, but if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you guys want any more videos like this, please subscribe, because that helps me a lot to grow this channel. And I know you boys want shit like this, so fucking subscribe, yeah? And help a brother out. And I'll help you out by giving you sick content. Anyway, Jeds, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.